Hi guys, I'm Jack.
And I'm Tangi.
And we are Freedom Homestead.
Today's video is a collaboration with Homesteaders of America.
What makes your garden grow? Water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow? Knowing that she'll be mine.
So like we said in the introduction, today's video is part of a collaboration with Homesteaders of America. They are doing something pretty amazing. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I love to see how other people garden.
Yeah, and if a lot of you don't know much about us, we're just a small homestead in Kentucky. As far as gardening goes, we're in Zone 6B.
Correct.
And we only live on 1 acre, and we've been slowly trying to build our gardening to where we can be growing enough to sustain us through the wintertime. And we've actually got 3 different garden areas to show you that we're working on. We have raised beds, we have a herb garden, and we have an in-ground garden. So we're going to be taking you through all 3 of those and seeing what we do with each one.
Right. Like you said, we are trying to work up to growing enough where we can sustain ourselves for a year. We still have a long way to go, but we're making great strides, and we want to show you what we do and how we do things here on our homestead.
Yeah. So glad to be on the Homesteaders of America collaboration. I'm going to grab the camera and let's follow her on a tour.
All right, so follow me. All right, so first we are in our victory garden, and we have 6 raised beds. Each one is about 10 by 4, 12 by 4, something like that. And we do have plans to eventually add more, but we'll show you what we've got going on in each of these beds first. So one of the things that you'll notice in each bed is I try to cram as much as I can in as much growing space as I can. And I do try to keep in mind what works well together, not necessarily companion planting, but maybe kind of sort of. So in this bed we have our pickling cucumbers, which I see a ginormous one that we have let get past us, although we did have a lot of rain last night. So we have our pickling cucumbers. These are Blue Lake bush beans, which they're just about done. It's about time to pull these up, get the last of the beans off, and then plant again. And these are some beautiful zinnias, which I have in my garden every year. And this lovely flowering plant, which is really just bolted broccoli rabe, which is very, very tasty. And I'm going to try to grow more of it. I love broccoli. It's my favorite vegetable, and this actually tolerates heat really well. Okay, so this might look like a whole lot of nothing, but I actually have planted several rows of carrots and some broccoli rabe, which I need to start thinning out. But we're hoping to get lots of carrots in this bed. Okay, follow me down this way. This is our peppers, onions, and beets bed, and I do have some beautiful zinnias. But yes, we have some jalapenos, which we eat lots of during the year, and I also have interplanted some beets, and I harvested my first beet this morning. I was really excited. Then down over here we have more beets, and we have banana peppers, and these are doing really, really well as well. In the corner of this bed, this is called a pygmy sunflower. These seeds are from Baker Creek, and it is starting to open. I'm very excited about these. They just look so neat. Okay, in this bed directly beside it, we have our strawberry bed. We planted lots of strawberries. Right now we have 7 that are thriving. They will send off runners, and we'll just replant the runners and gradually fill this bed. And we are so excited. We love strawberries. We have a couple more of these pygmy sunflowers, but I am really excited about this plant, which this pygmy sunflower is kind of hiding. But this was actually a volunteer tomato plant that was growing in our herb garden, and I stuck it over here not realizing how big this sunflower plant was going to get. But look at the size of the tomatoes on this thing. I thought this was going to be a cherry tomato plant, but it is definitely not. Okay, down here we have some basil, we have some zinnias, and then all through here I have interplanted some green beans. They're not doing that great, but that's okay. I can always pull them up and replant if I need to. We have onions, and we have these scarlet runner beans, which these are not doing as well as I thought they would. Someone told me that it's because it's been too hot, that these actually do better when it starts to cool off a little more. So I may continue to let it go. We'll see. Okay. This is another plant that I'm super excited about. This is a pink bumblebee cherry tomato. It is doing beautifully well. And look at those tomatoes. All right, we've got one more raised bed to show you. It's this one. And in this corner, or almost half of the bed, we have a scalloped squash plant. This has really been a surprise this year. It's done really, really well for us. Over here, I have a red cactus zinnia. I love zinnias if you can't tell. I have a small patch of broccoli rabe here, which there's some that I can go ahead and harvest. And then the rest of this is Blue Lake bush beans, which is our favorite. It is our favorite green bean. In our raised beds, we have done the autopilot garden method. If you don't know what that is, I invite you to check out In My Gardener. We did some core gardening, composting, high density planting, and the whole idea is that you get a lot of food for a lot less work. And I have to say, we're big fans. We're not going to take you over to the Liberty Garden. Follow me. Okay, so we did have a storm last night, so you're going to notice that some of our plants are kind of hanging over. But our Liberty Garden is our herb garden, and we are using a large tractor tire that my husband has cut the top off, and we filled this with compost. You can tell that it has settled quite a bit. But in this raised bed, we are growing some cilantro, which has bolted, and we have tied this up twice, and it has fallen over twice. We also have some Italian oregano. We have dill. We have basil, sage, thyme, parsley, and rosemary. And it looks like I have a lot of harvesting to do. We also have another volunteer tomato plant coming up there. So I love having fresh herbs. If you don't grow anything, start with herbs, your favorite ones, whatever you like. It is so much fun having fresh herbs in the garden to go out and grab anytime I'm making a recipe. Especially parsley. Parsley is a very versatile herb. So are chives. If you like the onion flavor, grow you some chives. Okay, so we are now going to show you our Freedom Garden, which is our in-ground garden. And you're going to first notice our pallet fence, which Jack built. And we put it up around to keep our dogs out and hopefully some other pests. And it works. Not only does it work, but it's beautiful. Okay, in this front row, we have some bell peppers. All right, first I should say, we had a lot of rain, so we can't take you through the rows. It's just too muddy. But here in the front, we have some bell peppers. And down there on the other side, we have some okra. I'm growing both burgundy okra and spineless crimson. Oh no. Then we have our tomatoes. We have Roma all through here. And then through here we have Cherokee Purple, Mortgage Lifter, and more Roma tomatoes. I like Romas for canning.
We do a lot of salsa.
We do tons of salsa. We eat a lot of tomato products throughout the year. This is my zucchini and squash row, and we are already starting to harvest those. And then the rest of the garden is our sweet corn, and we are so excited about growing all of this sweet corn. We do have some silks that are starting to turn, so we'll be harvesting very soon. the last thing we want to show you before all of my chickens escape is we have our potatoes. We're trying to grow potatoes in containers for the first time this year. We won't know if it's a success until we are able to harvest, but you guys, y'all know this is the life. My chickens are trying to escape, so I'm going to go get them. Come here, chickie. It's okay. You didn't get that, did you? Come here, chickie. I know. You want back in your home?
Get over here towards me.
Poor thing. That's why I try to get them in before now, is because they try to roost up here. Something else I wanted to share with you that we do here is, well, I'm trying it for the first time this year, is with our tomatoes, we are trying a self-watering system. And by that, I mean that we have some 2-liter bottles where we have screwed on some watering spikes to the end, and we put those at the base of the tomato plants, and we can just fill them with water, and all that water will go right to the roots where it won't touch the leaves. And I think that's really helped us have, so far, really great success with our tomatoes. We do try to garden organically. We don't spray chemicals on our plants. We don't use chemical fertilizers. We just use natural methods of pest control and fertilizing. But yeah, so we're hoping to get a really big harvest this year, put up hopefully enough to get us through to the next year. And as everyone will tell you, gardening is just learning from one year to the next. And that's one of the reasons why we love Homesteaders of America. The education, the support, the community. You can learn about different gardening methods. You can learn about different gardening styles. And no two gardens are the same. You just have to find what works for where you are and with what you have. So we hope you guys enjoyed the tour of our homestead and enjoy seeing how we garden. Don't forget to check the description box for all of the links and the channels that are participating in the Homesteaders of America Garden Tour collaboration. And until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. Thanks, guys.